This is Miss Bailey. She is the newest addition to our off-grid family. Dawn's mother could no longer care for her, so she is now part of our family. How you doing, Miss Bailey? Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Copperline Rattler Ranch. I am Julia. This morning I'm going to be mixing up some of the dry mix for our lime plaster. I'm getting ready to kind of work on more of that pigmented coat. I just want to mix just the dry ingredients, the sand and the lime in the mixer. When I mix it with the water and everything else, it really sticks in here. It's just a challenge to get that out. So I'm going to just try to save my back a little bit and just mix the sand and the lime powder in here, and then I'll dump it into my wheelbarrow where I will add the water, the fiber, the pigment, and a splash of boiled linseed oil, and that's what's going on for our pigmented coat. So that's what I'm up to this morning. Okay, so now with this dry mix, the area of the house that I need to do is in the sun this morning, so I'm going to wait until this afternoon to mix it so I can work in the shade as much as possible. So I'm going to move it over, put a plastic bag with some rocks on it to help keep it from blowing away, and I'm going to mix another mix, so I have two mixes for this afternoon. There are my two dry mixes ready to go. So all I need to add to each one, and we'll do them one at a time, I don't mix them ahead, other than this dry. We'll add, as you know, if you followed us for any length of time, getting the shade here, the morning sun's a little brutal. This is our favorite measuring device. Whatever measuring device you want to use, but just keep the formula the same. So everything that I've seen, everything I've read, is that you do 2 to 3 parts sand to 1 part lime, and then usually 1 part water, and then whatever fiber that you're going to put in there. Because we're so dry, we're adding extra water. So for each of these I have 10 measures of sand, 4 measures of lime, and I'll put 4.5 water because our sand is powdery dry and our air is super dry when I mix it. Usually I start off with a 4 just to make sure I'm going to need that extra half. So that's what I do. Then at that point I'll add my boiled linseed oil and I just splash it in. I'll add my fiber, which is that acrylic masonry fiber, and then I will add my pigment. My pigment is pigment that I got from Earth Pigments. You can see their stuff at earthpigments.com, I believe, so if you want to check them out. And so that's what we'll do. So this is just my mix. Now say for example I were mixing a teeny tiny little batch because I had a little tiny area that I needed to repair or get down to the last nitty gritty, and I have just a little tiny space left and no lime. Change your size of your measuring. It doesn't have to be this. It can be a measuring cup. It can be whatever you feel like you need it to be. Just keep your ratios consistent. So I've settled on 2.5 sand to 1 lime to 1 plus on the water And then my linseed oil, I just kind of eyeball it, and it's about a half a cup, 3/4 of a cup per this size of mix. And then my pigment, I have a little scoop that I use, and I put 3 of those to get the color that I want. It will always be darker wet than when it's cured. Once it's cured, it really lightens up a lot. So if you're wanting to test some different colors, test them on something first. Just understand that it's going to be a lot darker when it's wet than it is when it's cured. So if you want an intense dark color or an intense color in your lime, perhaps start with a light base for your lime plaster, and then do some lime washes, because the lime wash will hold that color a little bit better because you're not diluting it, I don't think, quite as much. Lime washes, lime, water. The last time I did it, I added a little bit of linseed oil, and then if you wanted to do a color wash, you add a colorant. Usually it will be about the same color as what you start, but it will again lighten up as it dries, because that's just the nature of lime. It's going to add that whiteness to anything you do. So the key to lime wash is to, if you're doing a color, is to do multiple coats. So you do your lime wash all along your wall or your area, and then you come back after that's dried, do some more lime wash until you get the intensity of the color that you like. For as big as our house is on the outside, I'm not going to do that. That's just a lot of extra work. I'm not living in an HOA where the color has to be just so hey, we're going to go with the color that we get, which turns into be a nice light tan color. In the wheelbarrow, when I mix it, it looks kind of like a chocolate milkshake, but when it goes on and gets cured, it turns out to be just a very light tan. Now when it rains, it's interesting, the color changes. So when it gets wet, the color will darken, and then as it dries, it lightens back up again. So it's kind of fun. We have a mood house. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to cover these with some plastic. It's too early. The sun is beating down on the wall that I need to work on, and I have to work on that particular area today because we have a project going in that area. I have to have this done before we can start that project, so we'll show you that project as well. So that's where I'm at. Stick with us and see what else we got in this video. So this is the mix with everything in it. I've got my water, my linseed oil, my fiber, and my pigment. So you can see it kind of looks like a nice chocolate shake. And then as it cures, it gets much lighter than this. So yesterday was super, you can probably hear the wind. Yesterday was super windy, so I wasn't able to get to it yesterday. I'm going to try, the wind is coming out of the west, and I'm working on the east side of the house. So hopefully that'll block all the wind from interfering with my applying the plaster. I'm committed though now because I've got it already mixed. So wish me luck. All right, now you can see this down here I did about 2 days ago. This is what I've just done. This was done before monsoon. And you can see that difference in the color, but I'll assure you that that dark stuff will lighten up to this. So as soon as it's cured in the next day or two, I'll take another video. Here's that area I was just talking about. It's all blended into the same color. So pretty cool how that works. And when the rain, it will kind of change color. It'll get a little bit darker, and it really looks kind of cool. So something we have to get ready for, I believe I told you that we ordered a shed that we're going to convert into our indoor-outdoor kitchen. Indoor-outdoor meaning it's a kitchen that is not connected to the house, but it is indoors. It's going to be inside the shed. So it'll be, you walk in and you'll be like, oh, it's a kitchen. So that's what we're going to do, get ready for that. I need to move, this is a collection for our wastewater from our washer, our clothes washer, and I've got to move it around to the back side of this shed behind me. This is our laundry shed. So I'm just going to move it around the back side. And I believe that the hose will reach. We have a little check valve hose here so that nothing goes back up into it. I think it'll reach all the way around there. If not, we'll have to figure something out. What this water goes to, we have a pecan tree that lives in the chicken run, and this wastewater goes to water that tree. So every time I do laundry, it's going to get watered. So it gets sufficient water. I just probably need to really fertilize it. I was kind of hoping the chicken manure might help, but I need to probably actually fertilize it. It's a little bit slow going. It just may be that it needed some time, extra time to establish itself. It's about 5 years in that spot. So I'll have to get on that, get it fertilized. So I'm going to go ahead and get the tractor ready. And all I'm going to do is, this is sitting on a pallet. I'm going to lift it up and just kind of move it around the corner so that we can still have access to it and still be able to water that tree. So we have a hose that just lays on the ground. It's kind of dedicated to this purpose. Goes from here all the way to the chicken run. Waters the tree whenever I do laundry. Hope this is going to reach. Looks like it's going to. It's down on there. Ta-da! Voila! So this hose, we're just using like a short garden hose. It's connected to another short hose that's coming out of that check valve. We just put it in here. We'll see how it works. It's not pressure, it's just though it comes out from the drain. A little bit of pressure from, I guess, the pump in the washer. We do have a vent hole drilled into this lid. And as you kind of saw, this container at the bottom, there's a lot of crud. That's all the stuff that's come off our clothes over the last 3 years. So I don't worry about that. It's mostly just dirt from around here. I'm going to hook the hose back up, kind of move it a little bit out of the way because right now it goes straight across. I'll kind of move it because when they bring that shed in, they're going to have to bring it in from this side and get it parked where we need it to be. There's still some more prep work that we have to do. We've got to, we have a water spout there that we have to move. I have a little tiny gabion that has a solar light in it. That actually is the gas line that's going to connect to the kitchen and will power our gas range, and we're going to look at getting a gas refrigerator. That way it doesn't tax our solar system as much. We have to, with our gas, our LP gas tank, and everything that we have, we're kind of obligated to a certain number of fills per year. Usually twice a year is what they ask for. The person who did install it, the company that we got it from, did say, now we understand you probably won't be using it like a normal home. We don't have gas heat. We don't have, our gas water heater isn't on demand, so it's only on while we're showering or using hot water in other ways. So for the kitchen, we will have another tankless gas water heater, the range, and the refrigerator. So that will increase our usage of the LP gas enough to satisfy the person, the company that supplies that to us, so that we can fulfill our contractual obligations. Also, like I said, won't tax our solar system as much, because the last thing I want is to have things in the refrigerator and we lose power and the generator doesn't start up, and all of a sudden everything in the refrigerator is bad. So I don't want that to happen. In the refrigerator we'll have probably a chest freezer as well. I don't want anything risking that stuff going bad. The chest freezer, I think we'll just keep electric, because they really are efficient as a chest freezer. An upright freezer, every time you open that door, all that cold air falls out. So the chest freezer, when you open it like this, the cold air stays in. So yeah, that's what we'll probably do. We'll have to wait and see. So I'm going to hook the hose back up to this so that it can keep draining into the chicken run for the pecan tree. And I will tell you, when I do laundry, the chickens just love playing in that mud. They will scratch in that mud. They will take mud baths along with their dust baths. They love to play. They love to look for little critters that might be crawling up through the mud. So yeah, I like it. So the last big thing, we have two more things to do here, is we have to take this spout, dig it out and move it back, because part of that kitchen's going to go there. We're not exactly sure where the water supply is going to come in exactly on the building. And we have this right here that's a little manifold. So we have a water shutoff that goes to the laundry, which is to our left. The water shutoff that goes to this spout here. We have another line that goes out and then turns and goes to the house, and then it also branches off and goes clear out here. Let me show you, to our hydrant, which is right there. Don's coming out. He's been working on some stuff inside. So this will have to be done. We'll have to put some rock in this area. That will be the base for the shed, and then we'll be ready to accept that shed, hopefully in a couple of weeks. So we are ready for the delivery of our indoor-outdoor kitchen. They asked that we put a gravel base down that the shed will set on. Don has moved that water spout that was over here that I showed you earlier. So he left a little bit of space dug out, because we will have to reattach and figure out where we're going to put the water line in through the shed. But I don't think you can see them very well. We marked with some stakes. An orange. Went beyond that. There's another one over there. There's one over there. And the one over here I think got kind of buried. There it is. So that's about the approximate size of the actual shed. But we went beyond that with a rock base so that there's plenty of room for manipulation. This, of course, if you recall, is our gas line is in that gabion. So that will go to the range that will be on this side. The gas refrigerator will be over on that side, and then the sink will be over here, giving us our nice lovely work triangle. Yeah, so it's going to be 12 by 20 on the outside dimensions. Then of course we'll have cabinets and countertops and all that on the inside, so that'll cut down of course on that actual square footage. But I think it'll be a wonderful sized kitchen. 240 square feet total. Yay! Almost there. Now, as far as the generator goes, we've got this one put in. I say we, Don did this. He's got it in. He's got it wired into the powerhouse. He's got the automatic generator start card in there. He's done all the testing. Everything's working great. This generator is twice as big as our previous one as far as power. And I think it's 10K. Our other one was 5K. Don't ask me what the K means. Don could tell you. But anyway, this was one of the pads that we had Sergio and his team pour. So this is sitting on that. That's the purpose of this pad. It helps to get it up. I don't know if you can see down in here, there's an oil drain area. So when he does the oil changes, it's a little bit lifted up higher, so it'll drain a little bit better. Also, as you can see, we put a little gazebo around on this pad. And that's so when he does work on the generator, he can have some shade. Now this time of the year, the sun is way to our south, so the shade's mostly on that northern part. You can see over here. And in the summer, it's going to be further that way, so we'll have more shade over the entire thing. We left the curtains on the gazebo, or we added them or put them on, whatever. And so when he's working on it, he just pulls those shut and zips them down the middle so that he can work on it in the shade. It also helps to protect that card, that computer card thingy, because it's on the north side of the generator, on the other side, and that is almost always in the shade, so it's not getting a lot of direct sunlight. Helps protect all the electronics on that. So yeah, mostly Dawn put this in. Didn't do a bad job at all. So that's where we're at with that. He used the tractor to help him hold things up while he put things in. But that card is on this side of the generator on the inside. You can see this little antenna that's connected to that card, so that it communicates both electronically and over, I don't know, whatever you call the airwaves, with the component that's inside the powerhouse that corresponds to this. So there's a component here, there's a component there, everything's hardwired, and then it's also got this. We can manipulate this with a cell phone. So we've got a program on the cell phone. If we feel like we need to start the generator, or we need to take a look at why is it starting when we think it shouldn't, we can get all the information from the card in that way. And of course, there's the old one. He has been working on it to keep trying to figure out why it won't work well. It runs, but we can't get it to close the circuit in order to power even the outlets that are on the generator, because there's a couple of outlets on the generator itself, and I can't even get it to close the circuit to power those. So he's going to keep working on that, and then he'll make a determination if we want to just hang on to that, use it for the kitchen when we get our kitchen put in. We may do that, or he may decide to sell it. You never know. We'll have to see. Well, I think the wind has picked up. So anyway, I think that's going to be it for this week's video. We hope you enjoyed it. Remember to like, share, subscribe, comments in that comment section below the video, and we'll see you next time. If we don't see you before Thanksgiving, have a happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Bye.